Hi there, I'm Kodec. I hope life is treating you all perfectly. Got another build video for you guys today. As you can imagine, as a Necroman, I'm quite excited because basically for the first time in this game's history, Necro actually matters in PvP apart from bombing, which obviously is really exciting. I've enjoyed this setup quite a bit, so yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, let's have a look at the unbuffed stats. Race-wise, I'm a Nord. I mean, you can be whatever you like. I just prefer Nord. I mean, just gives you everything that you want in PvP. Gives you max health as well as tons of resistances. On top of that, you get max stam as well as gaining 5 ultimates every 10 seconds while you take damage. Another thing which is really cool with being a Nord is that it gives you quite a bit of flexibility in terms of your setups because your resistances by default are at a really healthy amount. So in this case we are running the Lover Mundustone because I'm not forced to run the Lady, let's say. So yeah, my max health is at almost 34k, which is really nice. We are quite tanky on this setup, and you'll see afterwards when I show you guys the buffed stats. We are insanely tanky, and sustain for the first time I feel in forever. Sustain is a non-issue on Necromancer in PvP. Our max stam is at 30k, and our max magicka is at almost 20k. On Vampire Stage 1, reason being is that DKs are a thing, and they are mean, and they are scary, and they hurt a lot. Food buff, I'm running Bewitched Sugar Skulls. Yeah, let's have a look at the buff stats, and keep in mind these stats are a little bit higher in Cyrodiil, but as you can see, they are really juicy. Our max health is almost at 42k, which is really nice. Our max stam is at almost 33k, which is also really nice, and our max magicka is at 22k. On top of that, we almost have 6k weapon and spell damage and 10k penetration. I also want to show you guys the buffed stats in Goliath form. Have a look at this. It's quite silly. We have 80k health, which again just makes us super duper tanky and just buffs the shit out of our heals. On top of that, I have my resistant pots activated, which puts us in and around 31k spell resistance and 30k physical resistance. So yeah, again, we are really tanky. You're basically a tank which does a shit ton of damage, which is obviously super fun. Let's have a look at the gear. I will show you two different setups, one for Cyrodiil and one for BGs. This is the Cyrodiil version. As always, I run 4 medium, 2 heavy, 1 light. I run reinforced on the big pieces and impen on the rest. Jewelry traits. On this setup, I actually run Bloodthirsty, and it's hands down better. It just makes your dots hit really stinking hard. And it just synergizes really well with Necro. You have passives like this, for instance, which just adds on top of your Bloodthirsty increases. So yeah, it's really good. Front bar, I'm running 2 maces, 1 Nirnhound, 1 charged with flame and poison damage enchantments. Back bar, I'm running infused ice staff with weapon and spell damage enchantments. Monster Helm, I'm running Marsalok. I mean, it's kind of a self-explanatory. Monster Helm just does a shit ton of damage, which is always welcome. Front bar, I'm running Master's Dual Wield. I feel like Master's Dual Wield are kind of slept upon. I mean, yeah, sure, it's not as good as it once were, but trust me, it still pumps. Back bar, I'm running Veteran, Ice Staff. I mean, just free damage, which is, again, very much welcome. I'm running a one-piece trainee for the maximum health. Mythic, I'm running Death Dealers. As you saw on our stats screenshots, we are stacking max stats as much as we can, and Death Dealers definitely help us with exactly doing that. Gear-wise, you have a lot of options this patch. You have the likes of Drogerkin, you have Serpent's Disdain. The reason I'm not running those sets, because both of those sets might be a little bit better than Dragon's Appetite, which is what we are running, like from a damage perspective, but I felt like I was a little bit too squishy running those gear setups. Keep in mind, it's a lot of pressure going on in Cyrodiil at the moment. I was also testing Mara, but I felt I was losing way too much damage and pressure. So I ended up running Dragon's Appetite, and I just feel like it hits the sweet spot. It gives you a decent amount of damage, as well as giving you a big fat heal. And as you saw, our health is really high on this setup, which just buffs our healing through the roof. So basically on this setup you're able to out-heal most things, like you're 1v-axing on this setup, no problem. And yeah, by the way, I'm running a Druid piece as well. So we have one trainee and one Druid piece for the maximum health. Let's talk about the class masteries a little bit. I'm running Nothing Wasted and Pound of Flesh. Nothing Wasted is crazy. It's what buffs our health through the roof. It also gives us a lot of damage. Pound of Flesh also gives us even more healing. Like I said, we have a lot of healing on this setup, as well as giving us a lot of sustain. So again, sustain is a completely non-issue on this setup. Let's go over the skills. I'm running Quick Cloak. I mean, if you want a snare removal, feel free to run something like Race Against Time. On the Necro, I just like Quick Cloak because Necro gets 10% buff to damage over time effects. And Quick Cloak is a pretty decent AoE damage over time. On top of that, you get Major Evasion, which is very nice, and you get Major Expedition. Blast Bones, Necro, Bread and Butter, Disease Burst ability, which hits really stinking hard. Redding Slashes, Big Fat Dot, also applies the Hemorrhaging status effect. On top of that, it also reduces our target's movement speed by 30%. Skeletal Archer, this is our way of obtaining Major Brutality and Sorcery. It's also a pretty decent dot. It's also our most reliable way of keeping Dismember passive up. This thing. So basically, while you have your Skeletal Archer active, you basically gain 3271 penetration. I'm running Mortal Coil. It's a really big healing over time. It also gives you a little bit of resources, and on top of that, while slotted, your healing done is increased by 3%, which again just synergizes really well with what we are trying to do on this setup. I mean, if you want more damage, feel free to run something like Mythic Siphon. I know it hits really stinking hard. It also gives you the Major Savagery and Prophecy buff. The thing is that Mythic Siphon is such a clunky ability to use in Cyrodiil. I always say that if you're gonna reliably use it in Cyrodiil, you either have to run something like Nobility of Decay, which obviously is a big DPS nerf, or you need to run a stun. And as you can see, we are not running a stun on this setup, so That's why I'm running Immortal Coil. Driving Chaos, really big, fat ultimate. Again, just synergizes really well with our setup. It synergizes really well with Dragon's Appetite. It just increases your damage done by 6%. It also applies the hemorrhaging status effect. And on top of that, it heals you for 58% of the damage done. Backbar, I'm running Elemental Susceptibility. This is our way of proccing our veteran. It's also our way of applying Major Breach. On top of that, it also applies Burning, Chilled, and Concussion status effect. Deaden Pain. This is a really cool skill, and again, just helps us keep our class mastery going. This skill and Mortal Coil is basically the two skills that makes us keep nothing wasted up. This skill gives us a lot. It gives us ult, it gives us healing, as well as major protection. And also while slotted, your damage taken is reduced by 3%. Summoner's Armor, this is our way of obtaining Major Resolve and Minor Resolve. This is why we are not running Vigor, because this skill alone gives us both buffs. On top of that, it gives us reduced cost of Blastbone, Skeletal Mage, and Spirit Bender, which is really nice. Spirit Guardian, a little heal over time, as well as 10% damage reduction, which is very nice. As our burst heal, I'm running Healing Soul. It's just an upgrade from our class heal, because our class heal is kind of dog shit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of Healing Soul either, because a lot of times it heals everything else but yourself when you need it. But I mean, you can pick whatever you like. I picked Resources Back and Major Vitality. Goliath gives us a shit ton of health, and your light and heavy attacks heals you, and as well you also do a little bit of AoE damage. CP, I'm running Focus Mending, Cleansing Revival, Force of Nature, and Breathful Strikes. Or Red CP, I'm running Survival Instincts, Boundless Vitality, Pain's Refuge, and Celerity. Let's have a look at the BG's setup. As you can see, it's not like any drastical changes. We have swapped out our Monster Helm with Bloodspawn. Reason being is that in BG's you are a little bit more squishy, and Bloodspawn helps you with that. On top of that, it also gives you a lot of ult gen, which allows you to use Goliath and Driving Chaos more often, which is very nice. I run Payloader. I pretty much run this always on dot setups in BG's. It's so nice. I mean, it just allows you to be offensive 90% of the time. Basically, offense is the best defense, which is really fun. I've also swapped out Dread and Pain with Echoing Vigor. Reason being is that a lot of times when I do BG's, I play 4v4, and then Deaden Pain is kind of meh, you know. I'd rather have a big fat heal over time. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. Give it a go. I guarantee you it's a super fun spec, especially if you like dot specs like I do. It hits really stinking hard, and it's surprisingly bursty. As you can see, we are not running a spammable, and that's kind of the cool things with Necro. You have so many options, and bar space is kind of an issue because there's a lot of cool ways you can sort of rearrange things. But basically, I mean, you just apply dots and dot people up and blast bones in between, and we have, like I said, endless amounts of health and healing, and you just watch people die. So yeah, enjoy. Thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.